Is this the best Pixar hotel that we could imagine? Is this an improvement from the Paradise Pier Hotel that it originally was? But let's ultimately decide, did this make the guest experience better when they stay at this hotel on their visit to the Disneyland Resort? All of those questions and looking at a tons of before and after footage is going to be what we're doing today. A couple of notes about today's video that I want to explain. I will not be showing the pool because there's people that are up there swimming, and I think filming people when they're in their bathing suits is just downright rude. And I will probably be doing a lot of audio back home in the office because the hotel is pretty quiet and I'm just a visitor and I don't want to ruin anybody's stay who's actually staying here. So I always appreciate Disney letting me come in and film all these things to take all of you on the adventure, and I try to be as polite as possible. So if the audio sounds a little bit different, that's the reason that's happening. And because there's no coverage of the pool, it's just out of politeness to the guests that are up there enjoying their pool day. I think you'll understand and agree with me. Friends, just behind me, you can see that Pixar Place is getting its finishing touches for next week's grand opening. And friends, like most creative projects, this one's going right down to the wire. As just days away from the grand opening, we can see the amazing sign that's being put on the north-facing side. This is so cool to see this hotel finally get branded properly into the Disneyland ecosystem of storytelling. Now, beyond a doubt, one of my favorite details is I love this mid-century pop art canopy the guests now drive through, immediately setting off their stay at the Pixar Place with a little pop of color, a little bit of pop culture, and a little bit of Pixar. Understated, keeping it pretty cool, and paying nods to some pretty famous pop culture art. It may be a little too understated for most, but it is perfect for me. Now, as far as I'm aware, these Pixar balls are the old suns that just got powder coated and put back up on the building. The original concept art showed us that we'd be getting the actual branded Pixar ball on the front of the hotel. I don't think that passed the building code through the city of Anaheim, so we just got these little color circle discs. I'm going to say is as a bit of a win because a little bit of color always goes a long way, especially on a mid-century modern building where you're leaning into whites and blacks. It's all about how it makes that color pop. And when we look at the creams and blues of what this originally looked like when you pulled in, I don't think there's any denying, for my personal taste, maybe it's different for you, but I think this modernizes the hotel, it upscales it, and it makes the city of Anaheim look like it's got a nice hotel, not a side-of-the-road attraction, novelty hotel that's adjacent to a theme park. I think it pluses everything. Now, beyond a doubt, one of the improvements of this hotel is Great Maple Restaurant showing up. As you remember, there was a restaurant here in the far corner, but it was very shut off, a very dark area, and wasn't inviting to anybody who wasn't staying at the hotel. But Great Maple blows out the front of this building, put in a nice deck out on the side of the street, a nice fireplace where actually I spent my birthday with my best buds having some of their delicious donuts. The Christmas flavored donut they had was unreal. It was like eating a Christmas wreath, and I say that as a compliment. But Great Maple not only improves the visual aesthetic of this hotel, but when we look back at old footage of what this space used to look like, you can't deny that it even just makes driving down the street more pleasurable, seeing nice architecture, seeing folks outside enjoying themselves and having fun. Definitely a little bit of this story that really improved the overall experience of this hotel. I was lucky enough to be able to work my way up to the pool area, even though there's a ton of work being done up here. And let me tell you, this area is phenomenal looking. The urban planning, the green spaces, the park, how they elevated the deck area from the wet deck. This is beautiful and by far one of the biggest improvements I've easily been able to spot as I'm roaming around the hotel today. This lounge area that I'm roaming through not only has a cozy fireplace, but what I'm predicting to be pretty epic firework views where you could come down here with your friends and your loved ones before calling a night and going up to your room. This alone is such a significant update to the hotel. And keep in mind, you currently only need a hotel key to get into the wet deck pool area. Small bites and all these other areas, this is open, I believe, to most of the Disneyland public. Don't exactly quote me on that, but I think that's how it is because that's how it was before, and I'm assuming it's staying the same today. I would have to say, though, that beyond all the decorations and the new facade, probably the most powerful thing that came from this development to empower all of the guests of Pixar Place is this magical door right here. But beyond a doubt, this door empowers the guests of Pixar Place, giving them their own proprietary exit and entrance into Disney's California Adventure, where they can cross the street, go through these doors right here once they scan in, and exit at Corn Dog Palace, giving them finally real park access for paying park access prices. This, beyond a doubt, is the biggest win that every guest will get that will stay at the new reimagined Paradise Pier Hotel, Pixar Place. So now that I've had a chance to walk around and to look at all of the different improvements and installations and how hard they worked to get the story and the characters of Pixar pretty much everywhere we look, let's answer our questions for this video. Now, one of the things I'm trying to keep in mind when I review this hotel is Imagineering didn't have a blank slate. Of course, they always do their best work when they start from the ground up. But as far as a reskin goes, on a hotel that opened up with one purpose and was a little bit problematic in its original design, then shifting over to the Paradise Pier Hotel, which improved it a bit, is this the best imaginable Pixar hotel? Well, that answer is no. You can definitely tell that this hotel has a bizarre origin story, and they did their best to build into that. Obviously, if they started from the ground up, it would be a way different experience. So it's not the best Pixar hotel that I could ever imagine. But now that we have that established, is it better than what it once was? Walking into the atrium, you instantly notice all the different details that have been put in to take the outside and merge it with the interior. Here we see that same framework that's on the canopy that we drive under in the front of the hotel, bringing those two worlds closer together. Soon we'll see the Pixar mascots in this area. I got to see them, not allowed to film them. The scale is impressive and perfect. But let's turn back time to a problematic, small and tight entryway to a hotel that asked so many more questions than what it answered. This was what you walked into. I filmed hardly any of this because it was so tight and loud, it felt invasive to even put a camera up. You could not figure out where you were supposed to go. Everything was hidden, and this is what we have today. Beautifully branded, beautifully decorated. It feels like Disney. It feels like an upscale experience. But when we go beyond that grand opening, look at all of this space. You have a seating area, you have a clear defined area to go over and check in, and you see lots of familiar friends. These little models just showed up the day that I was filming, and there's a ton of them, and they are so impressive to look at. Plenty of space to sit on the other side of the elevators, nice areas to check in. It is clearly defined where you're supposed to go, and when you get there, what clearly defined part of the hotel process does that area accommodate to your needs as a customer? I have this footage of before, because when you came into the hotel, everything was crammed, shoved together, and it was way too invasive to go to the left or the right to check in a dark, dingy, tight corridor. This alone is a significant improvement of what it once was, and I don't even care about theming. Over the construction process, we saw them open it up. These walls showed up about halfway through the process, but now these walls are down, creating even more lounge area, more areas for people to kind of come in and congregate as they're entering the hotel from the backside where the parking garage is. This area has characters in it. It has room to hang out. It also has a small play area for kids where they can push buttons and enjoy the act of touch. Each of these little tiles you move around, you also control what the overall lighting is. Just fun to see something for kids to do while parents are doing the BS of checking in. This is what this area used to look like. The tightest little stairwell you could even imagine. They have completely blown this out and made it so much more open. Not only is it stylized, but it's inviting. You now feel like you're welcome to walk through this hotel. But this is by far a significant improvement in what was once here. Is it perfect? About as perfect as you can be when not starting from a blank slate. This version of the hotel is absolutely the best version I've ever seen of this space. It feels very Disney, it feels very Pixar, it has recognizable characters and story elements put nearly everywhere one could imagine. It feels like you are at the Disneyland resort, and it always didn't feel that way. I think this hotel definitely skews to being very family friendly and small family friendly. Little ones will be able to see characters that they recognize, feel like they're a part of the stories that they love, and they can do all of that just steps away from Disney's California Adventure, where the story continues into the Pixar Pier. Disney's budget and management has had a rough time lately with the film division pretty much being in the toilet, and with COVID taking out a couple of years of earnings from the parks. I know this hotel was probably done in the worst timeline in modern Disney that we can imagine, but I think they rose to the occasion. I'm sure they had to cut a couple of corners here and there, but overall it feels very well thought out, well put together, and it is 100% an upgrade for anyone's vacation experience that chooses to stay here. Now, of course, you can always spend less if you stay a little bit further away, but if you're dead set on a Disneyland resort hotel, I think that this one finally can hang with both the Disneyland Hotel and the Grand Californian. And I think in a unique way, it offers a lot of opportunities and experiences for a different price point and for a different customer than the other two service. So Disney really trying to figure out a way how to get that value Disneyland Resort customer in here and how to really cater to the experiences that a younger family might need when coming out to the Disneyland Resort for a couple of nights stay. And for those of us that probably will never stay here like myself, having Great Maple, the coffee shop, a really nice Disney gift shop that doesn't even require going into security if you wanted to pick up an item. It pretty much has a little bit of everything of the hot drops that are currently being sold over at World of Disney or in the Emporium, but it's right here without all the hassle if you just needed to pick something up. There's Great Maple, and there's also this patio that I'm on right now, which is a place to come get some snacks, refresh, and maybe grab an amazing fireworks spot. This is for all the citizens of Disneyland that may never stay at the hotel, just people that love to come out to the resort and invest their time and money. This is an option for the rest of us, and I think having this option on the menu only makes the overall experience even better. To say that I was skeptical of what the finished product would look like would be an understatement, but I've been coming out here filming this month after month, trying to keep a positive mental attitude and not be overly judgmental until it was done. Well, it's not officially done. We are days away and it is going down to the finish line, but so far what I see, I really enjoy, and I can't deny that it is 100% an improvement on what it once was. And just by sheer luck, I accidentally saw a couple of things today that I don't think that I was supposed to see. So I feel like some of the best parts haven't even been unveiled yet. And there's definitely more to come from this hotel story, because I definitely saw a door that was open and said, whoa, what is this space? It's amazing. And all of the staff that I have met today have been very excited about their new hotel, and all the kind folks from Walt Disney Imagineering that are here to see the finishing touches put on. It was nice to stop and have so many great conversations with creative people that are just genuinely excited to see what everybody's going to think about their newest creation. They love this stuff just like we do. They just love it from a different way because it supports their families, and they have to do a lot of it with their hands tied behind their back due to budgets and time constraints, where the rest of us just get to say, it would have been perfect if they did this, it would have been perfect if they did that. And these folks know that, but they also know the reality and the box that they're forced to create inside of. So it was amazing to meet so many of them and to know they don't take it personally when I say this thing could have been better, because it seems like most of the time they kind of agree. If you'd like to see the before and after of the new DVC tower that just popped up over the Disneyland Hotel, make sure you watch this video right here, where I show you when it was just literally a space of green grass, and I tracked the project all the way up to the new tower. More Disneyland design is waiting for you right here. Thanks for watching.